Welcome back to WOL Talk. We are talking about Redemption, our November 2016 Warriors of Light event. Now we want to talk about something that was rather impressive, if I do say so myself. There was a dragon at the last event, and he was jealous, very jealous. Both of you got to encounter him as player characters, and what were your thoughts on him? I mean, did you like him? Did you hate him? What'd you think?
I was the one that closest to him when he presented himself coming out of the cave. My first impression is that a dragon? And you had the claws and two people making him walk, and like whoever was controlling the head had the head swinging back and forth like a bat was crawling along, something similar to the movie Dragon Slayer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind filled in all of the details. I saw the head, I saw the two claws, I saw the wings, and the first thing was just I could feel the blood draining from my face. I'm like, that's a dragon. They put a dragon. I am a little tiny man, and there's a dragon crawling out of the cave. I should probably wet myself now and run.
It made the impression instantly that we're not taking this thing out.
This is beyond our pay grade.
Yeah.
Really, cow, they can have it. You can keep the cow. We're out of here.
Yeah.
And you start, whoever was controlling the dragon voice, was that you?
Yeah.
Okay. You started to speak, and I heard the rumbling of the voice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear words. All I heard was the rumbling, and it's a dragon. It's growling at us. I don't know if it's saying words.
Yeah.
I don't need to know if it's saying words. That's a really tall hill. I should run now because he's going to catch me. And everybody turned and started running up the hill.
Mm.
And it was an excellent reaction. I don't know about you, but I actually felt a spark of real fear when I looked and saw the dragon head and the wings and the claws and the way you were making it move.
Mm-hmm.
My head used the magic of the game that you guys are creating and filled in all the details. And I saw a 9-foot dragon come crawling out of a cave.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I'm thinking, this was a great character. And
Well, I
we're
might
done now.
only be playing this one time.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to die.
From a GM standpoint, looking at that, it was like, wow, this is a great, costume, a great setup. And then from a player standpoint, that was actually after. First, I seen it as a player standpoint, like I'm just like thinking of strategy, and I'm seeing everybody running chaos, and I'm like, I'm about to leave y'all because I think I'm the only person that can legit get away from this because that's what's about to happen. Because you all are not gonna. I'm not saving anyone.
No, it was a great experience because the panic that occurred.
So much panic.
The panic that occurred when he came crawling out of that cave was genuine.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, see, the thing is from my perspective of kind of running it, I built the dragon from, nothing. And so from my perspective, it was a very artificial thing, right? Mm-hmm. It always is from
because you're behind the camera.
Exactly. So when I saw everybody fleeing in that moment, I'm like, wow, they're really playing true to their characters. That's a lot of good RP there.
No, dude. No, we were afraid.
Yeah.
You generated real fear with the way that you portrayed the dragon.
Especially for, I think another factor played into it is it was very unexpected.
Oh yeah, no.
Like there was no build up to it. It was like, oh look, we're hitting a little spider going up the trail.
But there was,
and then
though.
And there were some knolls beforehand.
Well,
how come there was a trail of blood with no tracks?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get a lot of know exactly what to do with it because not a lot of us had tracking, so we didn't exactly know what we were looking at. We're like, you see blood.
There's blood. Okay, I'm not looking for footprints. I'm not a tracker.
That's your job, not my job.
They didn't mention those two characters never mentioned that there weren't any footprints.
Yeah,
they just saw blood. Did you tell them that there were no footprints?
Yep, they knew.
Okay, because
they almost didn't even tell you guys about the blood. I was like, you guys want to let them know about the blood? That our staff members aren't hitting rocks and dying.
Wait, that did happen.
Yeah, we
thought it happened.
We thought that happened.
On the way up to the dragon, we fought some, nulls, and Logan had tripped and there was a large rock, and he landed on it, and you could tell it smarted. He kind of does this.
And then we saw the blood on
and he's laying there. And Klaus and me and the rest of the group, other than the trackers, had no idea that there was fake blood, on the trail.
We saw the blood on the rock. I'm like, oh my God. It really hurt.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm fine. I'm like, no,
you're not.
Bro.
Everybody, Flint was there. Yeah, like,
that's a lot.
The blood and started freaking out. Like, no, let me check you.
It's not even a sharp rock. It's a dull rock. There's a big problem there.
Exactly. And the build up to the two coming to see the dragon with the blood on the ground and the fighting the gnolls. Mm-hmm. No clue that there would be a dragon there because we figured, at least Klaus did. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's some gnolls. We've run across some gnolls. There's a blood trail. They must have killed the cow. Yeah. And they've got a whole bunch of friends over here. We're going to go over there, smack him down, find out what they ate the cow, go back, tell the farmer collector reward. Mm-hmm. It's very simple, clear, cut, and dry. And then we come to this cave. Okay, they must be in the cave. There's a giant spider on the wall. Why would gnolls be in a place where there's a giant spider? Bah! And then out comes Brimfolg. Mm-hmm. And chaos ensued. Yeah. Right. And chaos ensued from there. Now, when we started to run away, and you called the game to a halt for a moment, so that the dragon could fly over us, I saw that in my mind's eye.
Oh yeah,
I saw the shadow go over the trail, and then I looked up and saw you and the rest of the guys with the costume go around the corner. Mm-hmm. I saw the dragon's tail whip around the corner. Yeah, I'm like, in my head, I'm saying to myself, the dragon just flew over us. He's going to land on the trail and come walking back.
And trap us in the cave.
And we're roast. That's it. Or the dragon just left and doesn't want anything to do with us. We're full thinking.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
back
around the corner comes the dragon, and everybody starts backing up.
Yeah, that was the point. Everybody asked Osmar, like, can you open that rune gate? I'm like, no, you guys wanted to come here instead of help me make that. And it's
it's not like the gate would have been useful or anything. I believe those were the words out of your mouth.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny because they're at how many people can you teleport? I'm like, it's short hops. It's not like I can run from this thing.
Yeah, and then we started, and then the dragon came up and started talking to the players, and you were one of the ones up front, actually. Yeah. He's coming up smelling you. He knows that you have his possession, or you've touched it, or been around his dragon egg that went missing. And then from there, it started getting really interesting. And how are the players going to get out of this one? What were you guys going to do to get out of that? What was going through your minds?
Oh, I was thinking of how to run. Like as soon as damage was going to be called, like even there was a moment where I heard you say 10 fire, and I was like, dos Mahadarian. I'm going to teleport out of here.
Well, when I had said that, it was when some of the characters were walking by the front of him, and he was in the middle of talking with Xylia, and Xylia wasn't wanting to back down to give Lola over to him, which he found amusement in the small gnome. So he started dribbling fire from his mouth, and it was just to give an example of how dangerous he could be, and so dropping the spell packets, saying 10 fire, even though it wasn't hitting anybody, just to let you know this is kind of what he can do. And Matt, as our tomb, started walking by at that moment when I was dribbling it down, and he goes, "Oh!" just cringes, and he thought he got hit at first, but then he was like, "Oh, I didn't," and he said he could feel the heat off of it. You know what I mean? And that was it was great.
Yeah, speaking to the dragon, when he told us to stop backing up because he'll just trap us in the cave. Mm-hmm. So I stopped, and then he told me to come here. The moment that you said that, I was like, okay, new character. Klaus is going to die right here, face to face to the dragon. I walk forward, just stand right, and you lean the dragon head forward and sniffed at him. In my head, I'm like, I can smell the brimstone. I can feel the heat of the thing's breath talking to me.
Yeah.
And I heard the other characters behind me muttering, "What is Klaus doing? Klaus, where are you going? What are you doing?"
I'm doing the only thing that may keep me alive now.
I'm doing the only thing that's going to keep everybody alive by just walking up and standing nose to nose, because he can kill us all right now if he feels like it.
The view of who Klaus was, as a person kind of like shined through in a way, because there was a few moments too that you did some things like that, really, wow, this guy's actually got a hero's heart kind of thing,
Yeah, bravery shined through in that moment when you stepped up there and surrendered yourself to the dragon.
I'm gonna die.
And then, a really good part after that, because they had to leave Lola there, otherwise, he wanted her for, the time reason. Being, and so to leave that, and Xylia is broken up, everybody's broken up. I thought we were going to lose Xylia. I'm like, she's going to die here because she's not going to leave. And then, but we finally got her to go, and that was the hardest thing, to try to get her to go. I think I'd have rather fought the thing than try to get Xylia to move. Yeah. But and then after that, Flint grabs you, and I can't remember exactly.
No, he collapsed on the trail as we were running away.
Oh yeah.
And I reached down and you physically picked him up. Yeah. And he's shaking, and there's tears pouring out of his eyes. He was really crying. He did magnificent job of role playing. Yeah. And he's trying to get him to focus on, in his face, we will come back. We have to run now, but we will come back. We will find this guy, and we will beat him within an inch of his life and take the egg back. We got to go now. Yeah. And that snapped him out of it. Yeah. And he went running down the trail.
What else were you going to do, though? The players in that moment were stuck between a rock and a hard place, Literally. You're going to go up against the dragon. No. You have to leave your friend behind, which obviously nobody wants to do.
Nope.
Another point about that mod, though, that's worth mentioning is Josh's character, Raven, sacrificing himself and bravery as well, where, he said, I'll stay behind with Lola, and even bowed down to the dragon, in that moment was really neat.
And the neat thing, too, is he didn't really have much of a connection. His character didn't have much of a connection to Lola. He's just like
pure courage.
Yeah, what? Even though I don't have anything to gain here, I'll stay behind. Yeah, so that way she's not scared, or as scared.
Or as frightened. She has something tangible to latch onto.
Yeah, and I think that made the players feel a little bit better, at least. She's got somebody, and the dragon was merciful enough to let him stay with them.
Well, I think that was the only. Honestly, I think that he was the only catalyst that allowed us to take Xylia away from the situation, because that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
They're just it was either him ended up doing that. Thank goodness he did, or we lose Xylia, or multiple people that are going to try to save her. Yeah, they're going to turn this into, we'll fight it to the end, and Asmahara would be like, bye.
The thing from my standpoint that was so beautiful about that was I didn't plan anything for it. You could see I had a whole mind map set up for the different story kind of element mods, and it ended at we get to the cave and Brimfolg appears. It ended there. And it just organically
and it just mutated whatever it was,
and it turned out beautifully. Yeah.
It did turn out beautifully. The setup for it with the dragon egg the day before,
right?
That guy coming through with it and saying, "Hey, this big gem. Anybody want to buy this?"
Yeah, everybody's touching it,
and we're touching it. What is that? I don't know. Yeah, nobody has any knowledge about it. Scaly. Wow, that's really heavy. That prop was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny.
And another neat touch to that is that there was no real tangible reward to that encounter. Yeah. When I spoke to Ridge, and other characters spoke to Ridge about what had happened, he told us, "Hey, the dragon's taken an interest in you. He's given Raven a name, and he gave Lola a name, and he's called Klaus clever and brave." Mm-hmm. Well, with the Ridge's character being as old as he is, and he has such a breadth of knowledge that whatever comes out of his mouth, the characters take its truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be a really nice add to the encounter itself.
Yeah.
Again, there's no real tangible, gold, silver, magic items reward. The reward was the encounter itself.
Mm-hmm.
I find that to be excellent. And then the follow-up to him is, bringing the egg back to the dragon.
Yeah.
And it turns out the dragon isn't necessarily evil. It is just a force of nature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something that is here now. It's a player in the world.
And do you understand what that means? Yes. Yes, without a doubt, we understand precisely what you mean. We can't stop you.
Yeah, I love that mod simply just for the immersiveness of it. That like what you guys have been talking about. Everybody seemed like you're immersed. I mean, you have 4 people trying to operate a dragon, and on the surface it seems very petty and mechanical and all that. But then when you're viewing it and watching it with the deep voice modulator you had.
The voice modulator was
and everything. The fact that
magnificent.
the dragon's intelligent, just the whole mod leading up to it was so immersive. Very good job.
Yeah, I wanted to compliment you on the way you had the dragon speak. It was not rushed. It was stately. It was pensive, like a creature that old would be. It would choose its words carefully because whatever it says, it will abide to.
Carries some weight.
It carries not just some weight, some significant ancientness to it.
Okay.
And that modulator that you had and the way you spoke and moved with it was magnificent.
Well,
It added to the dragon immensely.
Mm-hmm.
Immensely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun putting together. Definitely. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys had a good time with it. It was a lot of fun prepping. So I think that's pretty much all we've got for this time. Again, we're talking about our November 2016 Warriors of Light event, Redemption, and we'll catch you next time.